Lamer Gamers, this is Lamer Travis and
Rowdy 5000
for the Lamer Gamers podcast. In today's episode, we're going to break down the latest gaming news from the last couple weeks from Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. Our Nintendo section will have a fun new sponsor from HGTV's upcoming Totally Real and definitely not fake show, Animal Crossing Happy Home Hunter. We've also heard rumblings about a new acquisition blob monster species in town by the name of Sony. Find out who they ate later in the show. You might be surprised.
Ooh. We should give them a clue. Like if Sony were pushed off a bridge and survived because someone tied a bungee cord around their ankle when, they weren't looking.
Shh, Rowdy. No, Rowdy. We don't give them the good clues. We have to make sure they listen past the first part of the show. It's like, clickbait or a Kotaku headline. But we'll actually tell them later instead of scamming them.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. Towards the end of the news roundup, we're going to make a cup of very angry coffee to get ready for discussing the microtransaction hellscape we're now turning this world into. If you haven't heard about the latest Diablo Immortals and BMW news, then buckle up, sunshine, because it's going to be a bumpy, extremely overpriced ride.
Did you say BMW? We don't talk about Beamers on here. I thought this was a gaming podcast.
Yeah, well, I thought cars couldn't have microtransactions or subscriptions for software-based services, but I was wrong.
After we get all angsty, I will be declaring that I am no longer a console peasant and have joined the glorious PC Master Royalty because I bought a Steam Deck. I'll give my impressions on the Switch-like PC known as the Game Newell box that our Lord and Savior, Gabe Newell, has delivered to us. Oh, bless the Steam Deck.
Does everyone have to recite their love for the Steam Deck and pledge to Gabe Newell of Steam when they buy one of these?
Yeah. If they, yeah, they have to. You freaking peasant.
Wow, Rowdy. Oh, okay. All right, guys. So you're starting to sound like Lord Cromdor, but really angry. We need to get that coffee brewed out of you soon. The God King of gaming PCs. I don't think I like this side of Rowdy. We'll end the show with a special bonus points where we asked a bunch of lamers on Twitter, the real world is now a game. What DLC or microtransactions does or should it have? All this and more on the Lamer Gamers podcast. Rowdy, cue the music.
And ready. 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys. So I know we make a lot of fake commercials on this podcast, but we actually have a real commercial. So, our sponsor this week is the Portage Park Development Project. They are a thriving community in the Upland Metaverse. If you're from Chicago, Portage Park might sound familiar. That's because the Upland Metaverse is based on real-world cities and properties, and Portage Park is an actual neighborhood in Chicago. The Metaverse version of Portage Park is the most developed neighborhood in Upland with over 700 supportive members and property owners, enjoying competitions, community initiatives, and local shops with monthly town hall meetings to connect with fellow Uplanders. And now racing is coming to Upland. Portage Park are developing a racing team ready to fight for the top step of the podium. We have a training academy for drivers and racetracks in development, making the most of our shops and local attractions. We want to show the best Portage Park has to offer. So go ahead and come join them. You can find links to the Portage Park Discord server, racing track maps, and socials in the podcast show notes. We hope to see you in the metaverse. So it's time for the news roundup. Rowdy!
What's up?
Tell me about some of that Sony news that I don't know.
That you don't know anything about. Cool. All right. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, no clue. What's a Sony?
This is actually.
Hey, you have a fancy binder, right?
Do what?
You have a fancy binder, right?
Are you making fun?
Video games?
Are you making fun of my Trapper Keeper that is my PS5?
Maybe.
You shut your mouth.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
All right. So they're putting out a beta coming up soon where you could test out using a 1440p monitor. Now, I know some people like myself are like, meh, what's the big deal? But when I looked this up, like, I didn't realize how many people out there love 1440p. Like, there are people out there that specifically play their Xbox Series X or Series S on a monitor so that they could get 1440p. There's a lot of people on PCs that love 1440p. I don't get it, but the people have spoken, and Sony is delivering.
So, you say you're part of the PC master race, and you don't know what this is about, right?
I mean, I totally understand what this is because I'm part of the PC master race now.
Oh yeah, you can get a 1440p monitor cheaper, but a lot of games don't run real well in 4K on the new systems.
Yeah.
They do all that. Yeah. Now, I did find it really cool that they will also make the games do super sampling and different anti-aliasing. But I think the thing was, beforehand, if you were on a 1440p monitor, it was only pushing 1080p.
Yeah.
So, that's dumb.
From what I learned, though, is that, like, people like the 1440p, but at, like, a ridiculously high frame rate.
That is true. Yeah, I'll change the frame rate if it's programmed to do it.
Yeah, so you could play it at, like, 1440p with, I don't know, 16,000 frames per millisecond.
That's a real number.
No.
Oh, yeah. But, being the Xbox nerd lately, I can plug this thing into anything with a screen, maybe even a potato.
Hey, did you see you could run Doom on a potato?
I have seen that. It's magical. All right, so what else is in this beta update? Because the reason why it's there, I mean, Kotaku was like, hey, it's going to improve graphics on the PS5 whenever they posted this stuff. It's like, it's not improving graphics.
I don't know, man. So they've got the 1440p update. You can add folders now, but they're not calling them folders.
Because that would make sense. They don't want to remind you it's a Trapper Keeper. That's why.
Easier access to in-progress activities. Like normally, when you start it back up and you go to quick start a game, you just click play game. But like this time, it'll actually have like restarting, or I forget the actual wording. There is screen sharing. I didn't know that was a thing. Joinable game notifications. Meh.
So it's basically an Xbox.
Yeah, it's basically they're just trying to make it more social, and I don't know about that, man.
Do you think it's going to work or not work?
I mean, they're doing it because I don't know. Like anytime I see a new feature come out, I just think, well, somebody asked for it, or enough people were complaining that now they're putting it out. So it may work to a niche crowd, but I'm not interested in it.
So I noticed that they shared the screens of this, and the person that was posting this for their blog is named Maverick Ek Mustang. Is that a Sony Pony joke? Did Sony make a Sony Pony joke?
Well, I mean, Mustangs and ponies are different, but sure.
I can't get Rowdy to admit it. At some point, I'll get one of those. But anyway.
Oh, man. So
what else is going on in Sony world?
Oh, man. So we've also got Sony acquires Bungie. This actually happened here a while back, but we haven't really talked about it much because, we've been not putting out podcasts at a normal rate. But,
They're here.
Sony bought Bungie. Bungie that originally created Halo and now has Destiny, which is one of the bigger games as a service games out there. I actually really liked Destiny at first. Don't know if I'll be getting back into it or not, but it's cool.
It's been a while since I've played it, but I wonder, do you think that they're going to try to play the exclusivity card for maybe Destiny 3?
Oh, That's a tough one because I don't know if you remember when Destiny 1 first came out, but it was supposed to like not have sequels.
Oh.
It was supposed to be like a games as a service for like the next 10 years.
A gaming company breaking their promises? What? No.
Yeah.
No one would do that.
The next
That
thing you
doesn't
know,
happen.
they've got Destiny 2. But I think once Destiny 2's it starts to wane, they'll probably do a Destiny 3 to get people back in. But let's see what's God of War Ragnarok. It finally has a launch date. They kept saying it's coming out in 2022. It's coming out. We're not crunching our employees. The guy that plays Kratos couldn't get in and do some of his lines because he had to have like an emergency back surgery or something like that. So there were like a few things that kind of delayed this a little bit, which I mean I'm okay with, but we know how some gamers are.
Needy?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
God of War, it's freaking amazing. I love the series. Like, it's even better now that they've rebooted it in, soft rebooted into Norse mythology. And apparently, like, everybody thought that it was going to be a trilogy, but from what I understand, it sounds like this is going to be the last one of this series. I don't know if they'll soft reboot it again or whatnot, but I'm totally excited. It comes out November 9th of this year. It's going to be amazing.
So that is one of the games that, at some point I am going to get the Sony thing. That might be one of the games that makes me want it. We'll see.
Dude.
I do like that they are giving choices for the resolution and being able to play a dynamics upscaled version that's targeted at 60 frames per second, because I couldn't imagine playing that game at 30 now that I've gotten used to 60 frames.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, the first God of War in this series. So there's God of War, and then God of War Ragnarok is the sequel. The ending of the God of War soft reboot is the first time in years that I've ever been surprised at an ending. The twist that comes at the end of it is it's pretty crazy, man. It's kind of like the end of the next game we're gonna talk about.
Oh, nice transition.
The Last of Us Part 1.
It's like Final Fantasy whenever it's not really the Final Fantasy.
Is it just a cash grab? So let me just start by saying I cannot have an unbiased opinion about this.
What, you like this game or something?
I'm just going to throw that out there. I cannot have an unbiased opinion because The Last of Us Part 1 was an utter masterpiece. I don't care what anyone else says. It is amazing. The storytelling in this game, it doesn't leave you feeling the best at the end of,
we all know what happens. It's been on the internet forever.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are just like, oh no, a remake of an established game everyone knows the whole story for was leaked. Oh no.
Okay, so
how
here's the
everybody's
deal. So they're actually not upset that the story was leaked, because the story is, I mean, they didn't change the story.
Yeah.
The reason that people are upset about the leak is that they keep talking about how The Last of Us Part 1 is an in-engine, from the ground up remake. Mm-hmm. Yet the leaked footage looks like the same animations. What is it? The same, I guess, character models, just up-resed.
Okay.
So this is why people are a little upset.
It's not a big enough divide, right, from the original.
Exactly. Now, I've looked at a lot of side-by-side comparisons. Now, to me, like the environments and stuff look way better. I mean, there's a lot more foliage you can see. The hair moves way different. There's just all around it looks better. But I've already played The Last of Us on PS3. I played the Last of Us HD remaster on PS4. And now this is a from the ground up remake in Unity or whatever, in engine remake. And now it's just called The Last of Us Part 1. I mean, I'm still going to buy it and play it. That's all there is to it. But I have intentionally stayed away from the footage just because I want to play it, man. Like, I don't want people's sorry attitude towards it to, I guess, put a downer on it for me, man. I'm going to enjoy the hell out of it.
And you can't tell Rowdy what he thinks.
Exactly. You can't tell me anything else. The game's going to be awesome, just like it was the last 2 times I played it.
Even if it's just like for Southern people, like just putting lipstick on a pig, it's still going to give you bacon, right? Is that how that works? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good one.
Is that the saying?
Sure, we're going to use that now. That's what remasters are: lipstick on a pig, but you still get bacon. Okay, that my wife probably hated that one. Okay, so is that it for our Sony news?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Those are the 2 big games they've got coming out, because those are definitely both first party studio games. And then 1440p. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, I think it's time. We do have a new sponsor for our Nintendo segment. So here goes.
Nintendo.
The Nintendo segment is brought to you by the new show on HGTV, Animal Crossing Happy Home Hunter. Inspired by @ReplicantPinky on Twitter, join Tom Nook as he helps you find a new home you've always wanted. Let's listen to just a sneak peek of the next episode.
Hi, my life partner and I have a budget of 28 million bells, raising shaking trees and carpet hustling for a camel named Sahara. We're looking for a quaint little bungalow on a deserted island not full of bees.
Yeah, the whole bees really get in the way of the whole shaking trees thing.
No, the bees are not an option. So, I know how we said bees were not an option, but the sunroom in this quaint little bungalow of house number 2 just makes me feel so alive. And with the price, we could just go ahead and afford medicine anyway.
We'll take it.
What do you mean we just pay you when we want to, or else? That doesn't even make sense. Does the IRS know about this? How does the economy even work on this island?
I think we have to tell someone about what's really going on this island. It's an island of lies.
Won't you join us for the next episode of HGTV's Happy Home Hunter? There are new, previously owned homes popping up all over. To become a participant, follow @LamerGamers Podcast on Twitter, or share the show with a lamer you know today. And now, let's get on to that Nintendo news.
Nintendo has news.
Yeah. Ooh. So, out of nowhere, Bayonetta 3 has a release date.
Hair Wizard.
Like, they announced that they were working on this game like 5 years ago, and we got like no updates. I mean, just absolutely nothing. And then they release a freaking 3-minute trailer that is just nonstop action. let me just say, I am super excited about this game.
So I see it. Nintendo put something down here too. Do you know what it's about yet?
Wait, what's about?
Bayonetta 3. They actually released a little bit about it. I'll read through this, so if you don't know exactly what this plot is, it's interesting.
Okay.
So, Bayonetta struts through multiple locations in an all-new, over-the-top climax action game. I always got to throw that word in there. Sporting a wicked new ensemble and somehow familiar pigtails. The titular Umbra Witch must face a mysterious evil, using her signature guns and time-slowing witch ability. This time, invading man-made bioweapons called homunculi find themselves in Bayonetta's crosshairs. You're going to tap into Bayonetta's naughtier side with Demon Masquerade, a new ability that channels the demon linked to her weapon, allowing for some exciting action options. Not to mention hair-raising combos. There's just puns everywhere in this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She can also summon her demonic darlings like Gamora, Malphas, Phantus Marinade. I think I said that. Is that like something you cook with, a marinade?
Yeah, it's a Phantasm marinade. It's great in the Phantasm community.
So you make smash hit things, but this is where it's interesting. A bounty of Bayonettas. This would be more than one. Fight your way through the streets of Tokyo, the mountains of China, and many other locales. Along the way, you'll meet a virtual coven of Bayonettas, each more fabulous than the last. You'll also slash and slay as Viola, a feisty witch in training who fights with a sword, and capricious companion, the demon Cheshire. Find out what awaits in Bayonetta in this arcane alliance can really save reality. So, lots of Bayonettas?
So let me just...
trilogy?
Let me give you some backstory on this. Have you ever played a Devil May Cry game?
I have.
Okay, so the original Bayonetta, or at least the concept of Bayonetta, was created by a studio that worked on Devil May Cry. So this is basically, it started out as like a female version of Devil May Cry, along the same lines with, the demonic possessions and stuff like that. And funny you talked about climaxes in there, because each episode or each level is set up in verses, choruses, and climaxes.
Ah.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but it makes sense when you play it.
It makes sense to a music person.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Like Rowdy.
But there's also like ridiculous stuff. So like, well, I mean, obviously it's ridiculous, but in Devil May Cry, Dante has his original guns are two pistols. One is black, one is white. They're called Ebony and Ivory. So when it comes to Bayonetta, she has 4 guns. 2 of them that she holds in her hands, and 2 of them that are connected to the heels of her shoes.
Those are some cool shoes, by the way. Like, I do like Bayonetta games. Like, I like the fighting style in it. I do. I'm interested to see this one. I know my wife is not the biggest fan.
The Bayonetta's 4 guns are called Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme.
Nice.
Yeah, it's that ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it's just over the top fun. I mean, just ridiculous. If you like beat 'em ups, if you like Devil May Cry, this is your game. I mean, there's already been, part 1 is amazing. You could find that on almost any system out there. Part 2 came out. If you don't have a Wii U and you missed it, sorry about you.
Sucks to be you.
So yeah, you can't really find Bayonetta 2. Oh wait, it is on the Switch, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they've released the trilogy.
Gotcha. Okay, so Bayonetta 2 is also on the Switch. My bad. Again, another good game. Part 3, it's going to be utterly amazing. I just really like the stuff Platinum Games does. Bayonetta, Nier. They're awesome. I love their games. And, Nintendo's backing Bayonetta again, so you're only going to get it on the Switch. And I'm
it's
excited.
big of a following as it is. I'm surprised that Nintendo's the one that gets them, You would think it'd play really well on an Xbox.
Oh, it would. Because I played the original Bayonetta on PS3.
But it is like Nintendo is fronting all the money for the game, aren't they? It's not like...
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, so the game is rated M for mature, but there is a mode in it called Naive Angel mode, where it just shows a little less skin, or a lot less skin and blood. So, yeah. Oh, and Platinum Games, that Nintendo did not ask them to put that in the game. They did that on their own. I don't know if we should, if they're looking for a pat on the back or whatnot, but
Right.
okay. But, yeah, no. I'm going to play the hell out of it. It's going to be fun. I love it.
So also we have some other Nintendo news that they had a mini direct, and Rowdy was blowing up my phone around this time saying that it was not so mini.
Yeah, it really wasn't, man. Like, they announced a lot of stuff on here. But I'll just kind of jump through some of the highlights real quick and then talk about the stuff I'm super excited about. Do you like Persona games, Travis?
I have yet to play one, and they look like they're nightmare cringe to me personally.
Well, I think all of them have come to Game Pass or are coming to Game Pass.
Yes.
But you could also get them on the Switch coming up soon. Woohoo!
Woo, and you'll probably have to pay a lot more for them. Switch tax.
Let's see here. There is Harvestrella, which is a Harvest Moon ripoff. Well, Harvest Moon / Ruin Factory ripoff, because you have to, raise your farm, but also fight.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of them nowadays, right?
There's also Doraemon Story of Seasons, Friends of a Great Kingdom, which is a Harvest Moon ripoff, but it has to do with the Doraemon anime. Actually, you know what? I've covered this in a past podcast, but this one is a Story of Seasons game. So Story of Seasons and Harvest Moon, they kind of branched off from each other, but Story of Seasons are the original people who made Harvest Moon. And the Story of Season games are way better. The thing about this one, though, is it's multiplayer. So that's
online
kind
multiplayer, or just like couch co-op, no actual people next to you multiplayer?
It's probably just couch op.
Couch op. So, I might have a little insight, because there are a ton of these like Harvest Moon games, right?
Oh, yeah.
I recently had to do classes for like a video game development and stuff, and we were going over the persona of who the actual gamer is nowadays, and almost every single thing, whenever we were looking at data, related to who is gaming. And you should make a game based on, data. Well, the biggest group of gamers right now is 30-year-old women. And
Okay.
Harvest Moon games, I mean, my wife, if she had another Stardew Valley 2 come out, she would be just knocking down the door on release date to go get it.
Get Story of Seasons.
I've tried to get her to play Stories of Seasons. She hasn't done it yet, but I'm going to, just because you said so.
So good.
Yeah.
What else do we have on here?
Oh, you want to say one weird thing that I found was Kirby's Dream Buffet. Who asked for this?
I mean, the people who like Fall Guys and Nintendo.
I guess, but Fall Guys just came out on Nintendo, didn't it?
Yep.
So basically, it's a food-themed Fall Guys, but with 400% more Kirby, right? You can be 4 of them total. It's a 4-player game, and it might be included in the online subscription bonus, because it looks like you can play it online. Which, by the way, I'm kind of looking at the expansion pack finally, but I don't know. They had this big announcement that Pokemon Puzzle League was coming out to Nintendo Switch Online, so I was thinking, oh, it's a new one, right? Because once again, talking about the real gamer in the house, my wife, she is playing these games on the Super Nintendo pack. You can go online on the Nintendo Online stuff and play. She's playing Tetris Attack games that are Japanese lately. So it's like, oh, Pokemon Puzzle League, it'll be a game you can understand the words. You should try it. And then I realized it's $80 to play this.
Ugh.
The expansion pack for family is way too overpriced. And it's just a Nintendo 64 game that was released on there.
Yep,
Yeah. Do you have the expansion pack?
I do. Of course I do.
So, convince me to spend $80, please, or can you?
Maybe.
Good answer.
Paper. You could play Paper Mario,
I can play Paper Mario already.
like the Nintendo 64 Paper Mario.
I think I have it somewhere.
Do you have a Nintendo 64?
I have a dead one. So you're right. Okay, so maybe that's where they're getting people.
Face. All right.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So they also throw in like all these ridiculous expansions for stuff. Like you get the Animal Crossing Happy Home expansion, which I thought was going to be kind of ridiculous. And then the next thing you know, I put another 40, 50 hours into Animal Crossing because of it.
I think they should Happy Home Hunter. That's what they should have.
Right?
Yeah, they should have that.
What else did it include?
I saw that there's some Mario Kart
expansion?
DLC that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, that doesn't have to do with
Oh, I thought that was included.
Nope.
Well, heck. Okay. I know
it's-
there's Splatoon expansion, but
Yep.
yeah, that's been around forever.
I forget what else.
It's
Sega games?
Bring
Nintendo
back
64 games?
Okay, I'm ready to move on.
And
Because
Sega
you're not
games?
doing it. It's not convincing me, Rowdy. Not convincing me one bit to spend $80 on old games that I've already played. Which,
All right.
yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and go to the Xbox news, which there's not a whole lot of Xbox news lately.
No, we're not done with this mini.
Oh, go ahead. Go back to the mini. I'm sorry. I'm speeding ahead.
Okay, a bunch of stuff I don't care about. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. The Portal Companion Pack.
I love your reviews.
Let's see here. Minecraft Legends is coming out. That's gonna be cool. Disney Dreamlight Valley. Don't remember that one, but Sonic Frontiers. This game looks like it might be kind of cool, but it's also a Sonic game, and those have a really bad track history.
Isn't it an open world game too?
Yes.
And people are like, Sonic is not supposed to be an open world game. It's supposed to be a really fast game, and you're supposed to have good reactions. I've seen the angry Sonic fans online.
Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. There are people that are really excited about that, but I say,
Okay.
Pac-Man World Repack. Yep, don't remember that. Okay, Super Bomberman R2 is going to be amazing.
So
Cannot wait for that one.
Super Bomberman R2 does sound good because the first one would have been decent, but I think they had screwed up online or something at the beginning.
They didn't add online until forever.
Yeah, I remember it was one of the first games I got on the Switch, and that was stupid of me because the online wasn't there, and I want to play with people that I know. So, you got anything else from that mini direct? Because that's a lot of stuff on a mini direct.
What is it? Devolver Digital is putting out the next Monkey Island, and it is a dramatically different art style.
Oh, dude! Okay, so the art style for Monkey Island, the new one, is more polygon light, I guess you would say, right? It's a simplified art style, but I kind of like it. It's super colorful.
Oh yeah.
But man, people were ripping it apart online because it, was a bit different.
And then let's see here. So again, there's still a bunch of other ones that I'm like glancing over, but then there's this one called Live Alive that's actually already out.
Yeah.
It was a game that was released by Squeenix in the mid '90s, only in Japan. So now they have done like their HD 2.5D version of it, kind of like they did for Octopath Traveler and
That's
Triangle
what it
Strategy.
looked like to me. Yeah.
And it's actually 6 different games in one, or 6 different RPG storylines in one. And apparently there's like, I haven't looked it up, but there is a big twist in the game, and then after the big twist, there's like 10 to 15 more hours in the game. So I actually might pick that one up. But then the best thing from this mini, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Oh, that's right. That there is an update or a sequel to the Mario and Rabbids game.
Yes. It's going to be amazing. The Mario and Rabbids game had no right to be as good as it was.
I do remember that game quite well. It helped me go to sleep at night whenever I was surrounded by spiders in a pool shed after a hurricane. That's how I remember this game. Hurricane Harvey had to stay in somebody's pool shed, and it was infested with spiders, and the door didn't close.
Nice.
But I remember the game fondly because it allowed me to kind of calm down when there were spiders biting me.
Well, you can play the next one just in time for our hurricane season.
Does it have spiders?
Probably.
Dang it. I do not... Listen here, Nintendo. You do not bring that Hurricane Voodoo Magic game with you. You leave it right where you're at. That's how I feel about that. It does look good, though.
But yeah.
I just hope it doesn't include 5 feet of rain. So...
But yeah, so that is the mini direct that I was super excited about.
All right. Well, I'm excited about that came out on Game Pass.
What's that?
Internet lost their mind over, actually, for at least a little while, and there was a hashtag.
What is that?
They released on Game Pass July 14th, My Friend Peppa Pig. No, seriously. People were excited for that for some reason, and there were people going online checking to see if it ran in 4K 60 frames per second. I'm not excited about it, but I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
Anyway, other than that, though, a slightly less violent game, Far Cry 5, went on there. That one is good stuff. I liked Far Cry 5.
That's my favorite Far Cry game.
And we have a bunch of Yakuza games showed back up on there. Match Point Tennis Championships, Escape Academy, Paw Patrol the movie. But another one that is surprisingly big that everybody is sharing, Power Wash Simulator. You literally go around and clean things.
So I would just like to point out, like, that game is actually really fun.
Yeah,
but
I need to download it, and that's what's sad.
Here's the thing. If you're playing on Xbox, they have let everybody know. Now, the patch may have already come out.
Okay.
But until the patch comes out, they have told everybody, do not look at the sun. I repeat, do not look at the sun.
I feel like you need like a tinfoil hat. And Rowdy's going to be on this podcast like, everybody don't look at the sun. It's not real. The sun doesn't exist. It's all fake lie. It's communist propaganda. Sorry.
Your game will crash if you look at the sun.
You heard that from Rowdy. Don't look at the sun.
It may have already been patched out because that game came out on the 14th.
That's hilarious. You cannot power wash the sun or bad things happen.
What's funny is there's actually a multiplayer beta for it right now.
Yeah.
And like you could totally start power washing. Oh yeah. You could start power washing the other player and they'll start like slowly moving.
You know, there's going to be somebody 10 years from now that's going to own like a $1 million power washing business. And they're going to be like, "Yep. Well, I just got into it when I played Power Wash Simulator one day, and I decided that's what I'm going to do with my life."
I decided it looked really cool when I was power washing that Stegosaurus on the playground.
And then I went outside. There were no Stegosauruses, so I just had to find random people on the street. But then they asked me to clean their driveways.
I looked up at the sun, and the game broke, so I decided to do it in real life.
I kind of would, I would probably be the person that wants a power washer after I play this, though.
I was actually watching some people play it online, and they said they knew that they were old because they asked their wife what she wanted for her birthday, and she said a power washer.
Oh, snap. All right, so another game that's on the Game Pass, As Dusk Falls. And there were some more, but that was a big list of some that were coming out. there has also been some sad news. I don't know how sad, though, because I'm having issues with this game, Rowdy. Red Dead Redemption 1... Red Dead Redemption 2 was supposed to have a updated port to make it 4K 60 frames per second. But that has now been canceled. My guess is they failed a QuickTime event while they were trying to program this, and they couldn't figure out the freaking controls for this game because they're terrible. But that's just me, and I know I speak heresies, but I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because I got it on sale, and I've had problems.
Let me go ahead and put on my tinfoil hat real quick.
Again?
Yeah. So, the Red Dead Redemption 2 4K port's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
They've also aren't doing remasters for Red Dead Redemption 1 and GTA 4 like they were originally going to. Red Dead Redemption Online is also being shut down. Basically, it's getting like one more update, and then that's it. No more updates. You can still play it. No more updates, though. So, tinfoil hat time. They're really getting into the meat and potatoes of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Sure.
That's what I think.
I did hear some people were also claiming, also tinfoil hat thing, that because the Grand Theft Auto 4 remaster was so bad that they were like, nah, we ain't doing this. But honestly, all they really have to do, like at least on the Xbox, they just have to unlock the frame rate and it'll run fine, I bet. I don't think it's that easy to program into PlayStation, though. But
no. The Grand Theft Auto trilogy was so bad.
Yeah.
That was Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City,
you can
and
see how
San
much
Andreas.
I played that. You can see how much I played this.
Dude, those ports really were bad because basically the company that did it just ran it through AI and then put it out. And it was awful. Absolutely awful. Like some of the faces looked better on like the PS2 versions of these games. The rain was awful. Like if it was raining, like that was the main graphic you saw on screen. They were terrible, and this is why they skipped out on the GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1 remasters.
That's what it was.
Remasters.
I can't read.
Yeah.
All right, so next, the last thing I did see that Team Ninja is putting Wo Long, which is going to be basically like Neo or Elden Ring. They're putting their game on Game Pass. So if you like games where you slam your head into a wall, like in Neo or Dark Souls, you'll have a good time. Granted,
wait, is it Wo Long or Wukong?
It's Wo Long.
Wo Long. Okay, gotcha.
It's going to basically be an open world Elden Ring style game put out by Team Ninja. At least that's kind of what people are gleaming off of what they've released. I'm definitely Team Elden Ring lately, and I was not expecting it. So hopefully it's good. But you got anything?
If it's going to be like Elden Ring and some of those games, do you know what that means for me?
That you're going to make some coffee with it?
I'm not going to play it.
All right. So, that's pretty much it for the news roundup. Let's go ahead and talk about the games we've been playing, and then we'll move into you know what's lame and bonus points. So, Rowdy, let's go ahead. What games have you been playing, man?
All right. So first off, I want to start by saying I got a Steam Deck.
Well, aren't we special?
I've just been playing a lot of little random indie games on it. The game that I played that I thought would push it the most right now was Wolfenstein: The New Order. It was the first game in the Wolfenstein reboot series. It runs great. I haven't had the chance to run many other games that aren't that would like bog down a computer. But what's cool is they actually have they take your library and they put it in different categories. So there's like the category of games that will run really well on Steam Deck. Mm-hmm. There are games that have kind of been tested, but had a little bit of an issue. And then there is a section of, we don't know if it'll work on the Steam Deck.
Maybe, question mark.
And I have played some of the games that are like, we don't know if it'll run on Steam Deck. And they've run.
Oh, okay.
It's been fine. But I haven't. One of the games that we don't know if it'll work on Steam Deck is Skyrim.
What?
I figured that would have been like one of the first ones they tested to make sure it would work.
You know what can run Skyrim?
A potato.
Also the Nintendo Switch.
Oh. An Amazon Alexa can.
I've heard a refrigerator can. Yeah. So that's interesting. So in the future, we're going to get Rowdy to come back and answer the most important question on our podcast in a review.
Does it play Doom?
Well, yeah, that. But is the Steam Deck lame? So get ready for that in the future. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, by the way, Rowdy, I wanted to tell you something.
What's that?
I've committed tax evasion.
Uh-oh.
I've been playing Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which I'm also naming Vegan Libertarian Simulator. But it is fantastic. If you like funny games that are kind of like Zelda-y, but it's kind of puzzle-based and fetch quest, it's a good time if you don't want to think very hard. And I love that you start out the game. You get a letter that talks about your taxes and how much you own for property taxes. And you know what you do? You know what your choices are whenever you read this.
Throw it away?
Nope. The only
Ignore
choice you
it?
really have is rip it up. And
Nice.
That goes out through the entire game. Anything you pick up, most of the time you're going to rip up. Even if it's like, deliver this love note for me to this next person. You are a little jerk turnip, and it's hilarious. If you get a chance, you have Game Pass, go get it. Another one that I will also say definitely go try out is Echo Generation. It is a voxel style game. So in other words, it looks kind of like a Minecraft but pixelated. If you like Earthbound and Paper Mario, it is a good mixture of the two, but with an aesthetic that reminds me of pixelated Stranger Things.
Generation Zero. Generation Zero is the one I was thinking about earlier. Sorry.
We were talking about Echo Generation. He thought I was talking about Generation Zero. But it's another funny game. I mean, what game do you not enjoy whenever you can fight raccoons and they call in their brother Jimmy because he's a much bigger raccoon and you need to fight him because you're going in on their turf and digging through garbage cans. I mean, it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time. Still very kind of simple, fetch questy. There are some balancing issues because, at one point you're going to be fighting a raccoon or a group of raccoons, and the next thing is a mech the size of your screen that somehow has 10 times the amount of HP. So that's fun. There's aliens, there's time travel. And there is a dog that does not like it when people park wrong because it is out of procedure. So, it's a good time. Go check it out. Echo Generation, loved it. And also, my last thing, and then I'm going to give everything over to Rowdy because I'm avoiding something. That's why I'm still talking and not letting Rowdy talk. I defeated a fire giant in Elden Ring. If you've played Elden Ring and you know what the fire giant is, freaking crazy, man. The thing has a face on its stomach, and it will look at you with its stomach and then murder you by stepping on you.
You know what I have to say about that?
What do you have to say about that?
Womp womp.
All right, Rowdy, go ahead and talk about what you're going to talk about. Stupid thing, and it didn't get in the mail, and it's still in UPS, and I saw it in Houston earlier. Go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead and talk about it, Rowdy. Just go ahead and talk about it.
First off,
yeah,
I'm a little bit behind on video games, so I started Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Really good. I like it.
He's not talking about what I was worried about.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that's a good one.
It's really fun.
I'm surprised you haven't played this because I thought you were a bigger Assassin's Creed nerd than I was.
See, like, Assassin's Creed has been hit or miss with me. Like, I did not like the first game, and I didn't like any of the games in the Ezio trilogy, I think.
I'm not a fan of those either.
And then, Part 3 rolled around, and it was different. I really liked Part 3. Part 4 came out. Pirates? Are you kidding me? That was, like, my favorite one. And then I didn't play Assassin's Creed Rogue. I didn't play Unity.
I still haven't played the pirate one, even though you have told me,
dude,
I have to play it.
Let me tell you, it is an amazing game. But after playing like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, you can't go back to it. Mm-hmm. Like, they've made so many life improvements that going back to what is it, Part 4, Black Flag? It would be like you're playing Super Mario Odyssey, and then you go back to playing like Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. It's that different.
So, the big thing is, I mean, they basically turned into an RPG.
Oh, yeah.
And that ticked people off, too. Like, there's people, they're like, I can't go and assassinate everybody. I hate this game. And they never played it again.
Dude, well, they could bump off because these new Assassin's Creed games, I really like them.
So, Odyssey had recently been updated on the Xbox 2 to have all that fancy 4K 60 frames per second graphics.
Oh, it's glorious looking.
Dude. Yeah, I need to go and play Origins because I've beaten Odyssey, I've beaten Valhalla, but I have not beaten Origins. But, by the way, I still think it was... Rowdy was sending me all sorts of things about Plato. He got very philosophical when he started playing Odyssey.
It's Socrates.
Oh, Socrates. Yeah, Socrates.
In Socrates.
Yeah.
Dude, he wanted to talk to me about, like, philosophy and stuff, and I just wanted to go stab people.
That was my favorite part. I loved the part where you were going and debating with people and stuff in the game.
Yeah, he wanted to debate about, like this dude that, like, stole a horse.
And Rowdy's like, I killed his entire family, then I took the horse anyway. This point is moot.
Well, no, because like I go and I talk to the dude, and this guy's like, oh, well, this guy had so many horses, he wouldn't even notice that this one's gone, and my horse died, and I need to feed my family. And then I was like, eat the rich, and ran away.
Good Lord. That's a very Rowdy answer. Oh, man.
But yeah. So moving on to the next game that I've been playing on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
It's Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes.
I see what you did there.
I freaking love Fire Emblem, and I freaking love the Warriors games, and the combination of Fire Emblem Warriors, and the fact that it's an alternate storyline that has to do with the Three Houses storyline. Come on, man. I was like, I had that like first day it was available. I've loved it. It's long. I'm going to be playing it for a while in between other games, but it's amazing. Like, they took a lot of the RPG aspects from Fire Emblem and put it into a Musou type game. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's what all the Warriors games are called, and it's awesome. Absolutely love it. I'm leveling everybody up, they're learning all these different classes. It's awesome. If you like Fire Emblem and you like Warriors games, you should check it out. Now, on to the next game that I've been playing. A glorious game that I've been waiting for quite some time.
I've been waiting for
one
it
of the
too.
most
been waiting a long time, Nintendo.
Amazing RPG series ever.
In the mail, and it's in Houston right now. It's 100 miles away. Can't get it.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Tell me, Rowdy, how is Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
Oh, it is absolutely amazing. The story is great. The visuals are great. Now, it is on a Nintendo Switch, so some of the stuff in the background runs at like potato graphics and runs at like 3 frames per minute. But everything up close and like in the battle is very shiny and runs well, and it's awesome. When you, I thought that controlling 6, 7, 8 people at a time would be a little ridiculous, but it makes sense the way that it works. The battle system, super intuitive this time around. Like, I had a lot of problems understanding the battle systems from past Xenoblade games because there's so much that goes into them. This one does it does a way better job of explaining things to you than the other ones did. Like, as you remember, like you have some arts that when you have to perform them from the side of a character or of an enemy or behind an enemy. And this one, like while you're fighting them, if you look in the bottom right corner, there's an arrow that shows you where you are compared to the enemy you're locked on to.
Okay.
Because there would be times that I would be like where I thought I was behind somebody, and then I would do the move. Or this is like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I thought I was behind somebody. I would do the move, but I wouldn't get the bonus. Well, this one actually has an arrow showing. So like at one point, I was kind of like diagonally behind somebody, but as per the game, it said I was beside them. So I performed my side move, and it worked. So I'm getting awesome bonuses all the time now. Switching between 6 characters is pretty awesome. I haven't fought anything super big with 6 characters yet, because for the first bit of the game, you only play as 3 characters, and you only get to control one of them for the longest time, because, you know, it's a JRPG, so there's a million tutorials. But I'm about 8 hours into the game, and let's just say this story's amazing. So I really like it. I'm looking to put all 150 hours into this game, like everybody keeps saying. Yeah.
You know what? I hate this. I hate it so bad. So Xenoblade Chronicles is probably my favorite RPG series of all time. So I have bought the special edition for every Xenoblade game that has come out. So what did I do for this one? I managed to sneak into the thing and get you had to do some special line waiting stuff because everybody was swarming it. So I got the special edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And you know what happened?
It's not here yet.
It's not here yet. I paid more money for the art book, which will be cool, to wait, and I play it at some point. I don't know, but I have not been happy about it because a whole bunch of people on Reddit and Twitter have been pretty ticked off about it because what's the point of getting a special edition whenever, 1, you're going to have to fight bots for it, 2, they'll probably offer it later, and 3, you get to play the game at an indiscriminate date after everybody's already put out spoilers all over the internet. I hate it. I hate everything about it. So that's lame.
Yep.
But I think that's about it for the games we've been playing section. I think it's time to move on to you know what's lame, because I've been... this is a lame episode. There's a lot of lame things here.
You sure you don't want to? You sure you don't want to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 a little more?
No, I'm done. We'll talk about it next episode whenever I can actually talk about it. But we can go ahead and we have a commercial from a new sponsor. You ready for that, Rowdy?
Oh yeah.
So I'm angry, but Rowdy gets angry a lot too. So
super angry.
We're finally releasing our first coffee brand, because every other gaming podcast and Twitter personality and YouTube personality is doing it too. We here at Lamer Brew only provide the best 100% NFT free Arabica beans for our Rowdy Luwak coffee. Instead of having a smooth taste, they are imbued with hatred and angst. You see, we make Rowdy play only the highest caliber and frustration-based video games, such as, well, anything by From Software. Well-known games such as Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring,
and especially Sekiro.
You see, the beans naturally ferment as he concentrates intense amount of hatred from his controller to his gut, then transfers that sweaty gamer hatred to the coffee bean as it passes through his system.
I died again! I hate these stupid games! They're all dumb!
We present to you the From Software blend of Rowdy Luwak Lamer Brew. This is not just like Kopi Luwak, where you keep a poor, mistreated animal in a cage. This is something really special.
Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rowdy in a cage.
Make sure that you don't blink while drinking it, because you need the fastest reaction time to savor that
beep 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 beep
special blend.
Make sure to join our Lamer Brew Coffee Club by subscribing to the Lamer Gamers Podcast, where you can experience upcoming blends such as the Cyberpunk 2077 Before the Update Light Roast, Elden Ring of Fire Blend, Mario Party Twisted Analog Stick Creamer Powder, and Donkey Konga Blend. It punches you in the face and steals your bananas.
Oh, wow. Man, do you remember Mario Party back in the day whenever you'd like have to hurt your palm twisting and spinning the Nintendo 64 controller, and it just made dust everywhere? Dude. Yeah. We managed to go get that just for you gamers, so you can have that delightful powdery taste with your anger coffee.
We had to destroy quite a few controllers to get all that powder out of them.
All right, Rowdy. You know what's lame?
What's lame?
Everything. First up, we're going to talk about Diablo. So we had to go through and drink this extra angry brew before we did the bonus points segment and talk about everything lame. Now, you may ask, why are we doing this? Because it's normally a fun segment, but not today. I've been on the internet. It's an angry place. And there were some news articles recently that made me realize there's no going back from DLC and microtransactions ruining everything in the future. So,
yeah.
Let's talk about the first thing it ruined, Diablo. Now, I gotta say though, Diablo, you remember whenever Diablo 3 released and they had a store that you could actually sell in-game items?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should have known this was going to happen. Like, we're looking at Diablo 3 with rose-colored and blood-tinted glasses. But honestly, Blizzard has been this way for a long time. So we reported, we talked about in a previous episode, that everybody was angry about Diablo Immortals. We had a review bomb about the thing where we talked about all the 0-star reviews. But that
don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, don't you guys have phones? But that doesn't matter because it's still making $1 million a day.
I hate it so much.
So there was an article from Ars Technica. So even though everybody kind of dogged Blizzard, they are letting everybody know that they are making a ton of money. So we talked about how you could spend $100,000 to fully spec your character, which is insane to me. But according to a mobile analysis firm at Magic, they estimate that the iOS and Android version of the game has brought in $49 million whenever this was reported. So it's about 10 million downloads in the first month. Now, at the same time, it took Diablo 3 about 6 months to sell 10 million copies, which would be about $60 each. So it's still a bit behind. But if this monetization continues or maybe improves, because they are looking to fix some things for the non-whale players, it would take them about a year to match Diablo 3. I just have in my notes rabble, because I think I was just angry writing about this. Because it just got dogged by everybody. Now, I have to say they have come out and they are making battle passes to make people happy somehow. Like, here, pay more money for this.
Ugh.
Yeah. So there's no hope for any of us. It doesn't matter how bad you pan a game. It doesn't matter how much you complain online. They're going to make money anyway. So that made me unhappy.
True.
Next thing that made me unhappy was the Unity CEO, who basically says we're all stupid for not wanting monetization in games.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So he had with PocketGamer.biz, they're talking about buying Iron Source and merging it into Unity. You know who Unity is, right?
Yeah, Epic Games runs all of it, and yeah.
So Epic Games was kind of known for like, oh, you get a free game, and they're supposed to be the anti-Steam and supposed to do all these nice things for gamers. But their CEO wants to bleed you dry. So in this article with pocketgamers.biz, they said these things, that he loves that there's a small portion of the game industry that basically doesn't want microtransactions. And he says that they're beautiful and pure, brilliant people, but they're also some of the biggest blanking idiots around.
Nice.
Yeah. And basically he goes and talks to that all the CEOs in gaming should just go ahead and deal with having to do microtransactions, or there's no point in being here because all the other companies are going to do it and take the money from the users, and you're going to go broke. That makes me sad because I would like to play games that I don't have to pay for the next level, like a game that I think DLC ruined recently, Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Have you played it?
I played the first DLC that came out, and when I beat it in like 5 minutes, I was a little upset.
So Tiny Tina is fantastic, right? The core game of it is great. The stories are great, but their DLC has made it go from everybody was giving it like 8 or 9 star reviews. And if you watch after they released each DLC, the reviews on Metacritic just kept dropping and dropping. Because the DLC, it came out fast, and it didn't feel like it was worth the money. But that's the mentality for things. They just want to have something you can play over and over that doesn't have a lot of substance.
The DLC felt like features that should have been in the game originally, and also feel like, games as a service type features? Like, it didn't add or take away anything from the story.
Yeah. So, speaking about not really adding to things, that was annoying me. I was just angry reading things. And there was an article about how these CEOs that are not just gaming CEOs are starting to put monetization in everything they can. If they can catch up to it, they will. And apparently they caught a BMW.
Oh, this is about to get bad.
All right, guys, hold on to your warm butts because they want to monetize those. All right, so from Jalopnik, there is an article where they point out that the BMW is trying to create subscriptions for optional comfort features in South Korea. Now, there's been a lot of hate for this coming out, which rightfully so, because nobody wants to go into a mindset of buying a product knowing that is incomplete, right? There's an idea of upgrades, but then there's a concept of incompleteness or purposely hobbling something that you're getting, right? You wouldn't go out, I guess it's Southern Reference Day, Rowdy. You wouldn't go buy a horse with a broken leg and then tell me you're going to fix it if I pay you another $30, right?
You wouldn't go buy a horse without kicking the tires, would you?
Yeah, horses have tires now, guys. So there's been a lot of backlash for this because it's not the first time that they've done this, but they're really getting called out for it. So here are some of the things BMW is doing that kind of reminds me of a video game, right? One, heated seats now cost, if you want heated seats, which the module is already there, right? You can already heat your seats. If you push electricity to this module, it's going to make your butt hot. Okay? But you have to pay them $176 a year for warmed seats in their cars. That's insane.
Wow.
Or, if you want permanent access, you can pay them $406 a month. That's... yeah. And so that's kind of like a video game, right? You buy the full game, but there are segments of code that are locked off that you have not paid for because you don't actually have access to them. And that's really what's happening. There are segments of code in the car that won't let it work. Next one, heated steering wheel, Rowdy.
Stupid.
Which I mean, yeah, we don't really use in Southeast Texas.
Oh, we have heated steering wheels.
Yeah, they come free in Southeast Texas.
It's just because the sun is melting them.
Yeah, so that's $161 a year, which is insane. It's already in the car. Next one, Apple CarPlay, which is in the car. I have a car. If you just plug in your Apple phone, it'll do it. $304 to add this already made thing.
I have a car too, and it has Apple Play already in it.
Yeah. Like
I plug in my phone and the dash turns into Apple CarPlay, and I can control everything on my phone from the dash.
It's just, I don't understand it. So, in this next one, which is probably my favorite one, enhanced engine noises. If you are buying an electric version of one of these cars, which you're probably already paying a lot more anyway, to play that through your stereo, you have to pay $137. It's like buying sound effects. It is. By the way, we have a special offer for everybody. If you join in now, Rowdy will do this for half the price, and he will sit inside your car and make engine noises for you. Rowdy, let him hear the noises they make that you make.
You know what? You could record this and keep it for free. or how about
that was amazing.
Or how about the Jetsons? I hate it so much.
Oh man, that was amazing. So it's just crazy to me. Also, high beam assist headlights are $84 a year, or $183. So now there is the question: why would they do this though? I think there might be a reason, because whenever you're building 40,000 cars. At what point is it cheaper to just go ahead and have these modules, like build 40,000 of the modules and not have to pay to have a different assembly line? I'm wondering if that's what's really happening and they're just trying to squeeze everything they can out of us. It'd be more expensive for them to do the version without those added features at this point, because I bet some of it's just cheap enough now.
So here's another, we'll say another way of looking at this. So when you think about whenever a new piece of technology comes out, whatever company puts it out is like, this is the most technologically advanced thing ever, and we're the only ones that could offer it, blah, 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 blah. And then the day it's released, somebody's already hacked it, and they know everything about the code. They've made alternate versions of it. When it comes to Android phones, you could buy the unlocked Android phone. When it comes to Apple phones, they call it jailbreaking. How long till somebody jailbreaks a BMW and just makes the stuff work automatically?
So and it's going to happen. But we did see this in Cyberpunk 2077. There are parts of the game in the story where you actually hack into the car's operating system. Yeah. I thought that was interesting. It's like, hey, this is where it's going. Video games are telling us everything. Everything is turning into this. Speaking of the blah, blah, blah you were talking earlier, let's read North America BMW's statement, and then we're going to go to bonus points. So I feel like this segment needs some sort of happy garbage music. As premium vehicle purchasers, BMW customers in the USA demand a high level of equipment in their vehicles. Options like heated seats are ordered on over 90% of the BMWs sold in the USA. BMW of North America does not expect factory option purchases levels to change significantly going forward. BMW Functions on Demand. That's the name of it. Functions on Demand. On the other hand, is designed to offer premium features through software upload that use data and sensors from factory option hardware already built into the BMW vehicle. So they were very adamant to let us know this was just tested in South Korea. It's not coming to America. Does this sound like it's not coming to America?
Not coming to America yet.
Yeah, that yet is what's going to happen. So they say, as an example, some BMW models equipped with certain specific options from the factory can currently add the first two functions on demand features available in the US, namely a dash cam function called BMW Drive Recorder and BMW Remote Engine Start function through a software download in a customer's vehicle. So they can't even say they aren't doing this already.
Dude, I hate that sentence so much.
I hate all of this. This gives customers the possibility of adding new software-based functionality and a degree of flexibility in that they will be able to test and then decide whether or not to purchase a vehicle feature that was not initially available at the time of the original vehicle purchase. All the moving parts are there. Everything is there that you need to do this. You just purposely choose to say, oopsie, we didn't put it in there for you. I hate it. I hate it. And they make us want to buy. I'm just going to keep going, Rowdy. With BMW's Functions on Demands, customers will be able to explore new software-based features on a short-term basis by purchasing a trial or buying that feature outright for a period of time or for the life of the vehicle.
I hate it.
It is important to note that BMD Functions on Demand is intended primarily as a digital aftermarket solution. Just wait, guys. We're just going to start calling DLC and microtransactions digital aftermarket solutions. That's brilliant, honestly. That is kind of smart. I think these guys should be running Blizzard Activision. And will not affect options that were ordered at the time of the vehicle purchase. For example, if a vehicle was initially ordered with heated seats, that option will not go away nor be subjected to a monthly fee. So, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. That basically said, once you pay for it, we're not taking it away from you. Now, that is a valid concern, though, because there are games that if you look into whenever you buy the digital version, it's a licensing agreement.
Yep.
So I'm curious if we're going to run into licensing agreements in the future. Your car's brakes have now been turned off because we no longer support this car. You will.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen in the future. Oh, man. So basically what it boils down to is we're doing this for you. You silly little peons. All right. That's what's lame lately. I hate it. I hate it. So that made me think, what would be a good bonus points? Because the real world is now a game. What DLC or microtransactions does or should it have? So we had people go on Twitter and tell us what microtransactions should it have. Now, I had added a couple in here just as an example. I wanted to pay a monthly subscription for superpowers. If I can fly without having to fit down the smell aisles of Spirit airplanes, then it might be worth it. Now, that was a Freudian slip, by the way. I'd written smell, but they are kind of smelly airplanes. Have you ever been on Spirit?
No.
Oh, dude.
Are those the ones that, like, you could pay, like, $25 and, like, a pocket full of lint and fly halfway across the world?
So you would think that, but they are the kings of microtransactions in real life. Okay? So you can pay dirt cheap. But you can also pay cheaper if you let them choose where you sit. So if you and your spouse or whoever wants to sit with you, you have to pay more for that. If you want to
Okay.
carry more than just what's on your person, you will be paying more than that. If it weighs over a certain amount more, which I mean some other places do that too, but Spirit makes it seem a lot cheaper, but in reality sometimes it's way more. And there are people that do fly cheap on it. Like if you're just going to, I call it a slingshot because that's kind of what it feels like. You get what you pay for sometimes. Rowdy, though,
Man.
Rowdy put a bunch of things on there. You want to just go through the ones? Rowdy had some fantastic ones before we get to the rest of the lamers. So what is
Yeah,
some
man,
DLC
like-
in the real world, Rowdy?
Dude, like, let's just put it this way. Like, I know a lot of people complain about health insurance, but you know, health insurance, that's a battle pass.
It is, man.
I mean, you end up injured, need to go to the hospital, they fix you right up.
So
Battle pass.
So do you get a certain amount of XP? Like, do you get something special, or how does that work? Do you get...
Well, no, because they still nickel and dime you. It's just less nickel and dimes.
So what else is in there?
Man, so you gotta have a 401k if you want to retire, which is technically in-game content.
Ooh, nice.
You know, you've already leveled all the way up in Diablo. Now it's time for the end game. You got to make sure you have that nice little cushion, that money cushion.
So,
Let's see here. So, well, grade school, okay? You know, in the States, I don't know about everywhere else, but in the United States, it's kindergarten through 12th grade. 13 years of school. That's just a long tutorial, you know, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla's 20-hour tutorial.
and they always try to teach you things whenever you want to go do something else, like go climb up a tree.
Yeah. What else do we have? College. Think about college. Think about how much you had to pay for college. Now, college is your multi-class / job system. And then, whenever you get done with it, you hate the class that you picked.
Ooh. And if you
But
go back, you can't get all the full levels if you had chosen a pure class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And guess what? Can't always use that job. Can't always use that class.
This is a depressing episode, Rowdy. All right, what's...
My last one is stocks. You know, stocks are kind of like Mario Party stars. You know, you're winning one turn, and then a turn later, you have nothing.
See, I was saying recession is like, I lost all my stars at the end, and somebody else wins.
And that is not very stonks.
That is not stonks. All right, let's go ahead and get some lamers. Those are fantastic. So we'll just flip-flop back and forth. Let's go ahead and start with Chan at D&D RPG, which Chan streams at Chan RPG on Twitch. They said, outfits. If it's DLC and I can avoid going to the store, then I'd gladly pay a premium. Interesting. You want to get Gamer Geek Nerd.
Gamer Geek Nerd 81 says the real world is a game like World of Warcraft, then 0 microtransactions, grind and level up. I feel microtransactions take away unless it's 100% pure cosmetic. Like Diablo Immortal, I'm playing 100% of what?
MT. I don't know what that
100%.
means.
I get something about microtransaction.
Oh, 0
the
microtransactions. They did this in
Gotcha.
Twitter speaks, and we had to understandify it.
The way Diablo 3 is.
But I brought up, we're looking at that with rose-colored glasses because you used to be able to spend real money on fake things.
True.
Yeah. All right, next one up is GNR Frank, who reviews stuff that you use to play games. You can find him at YouTube at GNR Frank. He said major stages of life should be locked behind DLC. That way people who love where they're at in life can stay there for as long as they'd like until they bought the DLC.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you could stay, like 30 or 20 forever. That might be cool. There'd be some people that want to do that.
Can I get the Fix My Back DLC?
Maybe. That might be a cool one.
My battle pass doesn't cover it.
I need one of those too, man. Whenever you figure out who is selling that DLC, I think we need a game genie. I don't know where to insert it though. Anyway, do you want to go ahead and get Weston on YouTube, who you can find podcasts and more at westonhasty.com.
Yeah, Weston states, I only support cosmetic DLC, so I would like to play as Pink Darth Vader, please.
I did find a GIF for that. I put, behold!
Just by the way, there is actually somebody who cosplays as a pink Darth Vader, but it's like Hello Kitty inspired.
Oh, I don't doubt this.
It's pretty awesome looking.
Oh, man. All right.
Man.
Next up, we have Wes from GDC. He is a third of the Console Gaming Crew podcast. And he put, kids are 100% DLC. New set of levels, that's kids' ages. Companion bonuses, lone wolf bonuses. You're running through in-game over and over when you have another kid. Higher the levels, harder the challenge. And he said, glad we're back on the making podcasts. I thought that was a good answer. And the second edition even reuses assets like clothing.
That is true.
That is true. Do you want to go ahead and get Japan Lover 79?
Oh, yeah. They say health insurance DLC. It's exclusive to full-time workers and certain companies. Very true.
And I put, this is definitely a real thing. I just got an email with updated rates for next year. You don't even get a pre-order bonus.
No. Oh, man. The devs said they were bundling dental.
Speaking of devs, just got a message in from our other lamer, Skylar. She said that fixing your back, Rowdy, is not DLC. It's a mod. Those aren't allowed. You're going to be kicked off the server, Rowdy.
Man, I really need to get into the PC master race then so I can start using mods.
Yeah. Next up is James, also known as Saint Leroy Slumlord of the 90s. I love his Twitter. By the way, you can find James at More TA Podcast on his episodic podcast, More Than a Podcast, and streaming every Saturday at noon Pacific time. He says, my whole life is expansion packs. I've been paying for years. The worst DLC I've ever invested was in relationships. It's like I made it a part of the whole scenario and there's microtransactions buried in there. Dinners, dates, movies, etc. I'm not buying any of it.
Wow.
I like it. All right, you want to get Paranoid Android at Voxel Hero.
Paranoid Android states, space exploration DLC. I want to explore strange new worlds and seek out alien chicks. And then, wow. You have outdone yourself.
That was a lovely picture that I shared with him. It's scary. All right.
Wow.
Next up is the fantastic Tony Coffee at _Goomba on Twitter. He said that an easy mode would be nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Which Hot Ham responded, who is at Tomberry Knight. There is one. It's called Being Born with Rich Parents. And Tony replied, those guys are hackers. I think I'd replied something to the effect of, what happens whenever you get caught and then they kick you off the server or something like that. But that was bonus points. We had some more on the Discord. Unfortunately, I couldn't get them in here today. If you replied on the Discord, I'm going to try to find them and retweet them on Twitter. But yeah, dude, DLC, man, I hate it.
It's a pain.
Ugh.
Hey, speaking of, I bought the DLC expansion pack for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You know that game that you can't play right now?
Rowdy, why you do this to me? My heart crack. Oh man, I haven't even gotten the expansion pack for it because I bought the special edition. Is there a good reason to buy it right now? Did you get anything worth getting? Isn't it like just you get different colors on your clothing and useful items?
So you get 30 silver Nopon coins and 10 gold Nopon coins. And guess what you do with those Nopon coins?
What?
You get Nopon coins.
Wait, what?
You,
What do I spend Nopon coins on?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, then, I better go out and get it. There's an imaginary currency that I got to buy money with. Wait, is this Bitcoin?
But I did get 30 silver Nopon coins and 10 gold Nopon coins in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the game that Travis can't play yet.
I think it's time to end the episode so Rowdy doesn't keep telling me about this. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening in. We do have a couple cool episodes coming up in the near future. Rowdy is going to tell us about being a Steam Deck owner and is way better than you console peasants.
Absolutely,
that will be coming up, and hopefully I'm gonna have to beg Skylar and Lewis from our last podcast to maybe talk about doing some Dungeons and Dragons reviews. Maybe it'll be on another podcast, but we'll let you know. It'll be a fun time if we do it. And I think that's it. You got anything else before we end the show and you go back to playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
What was I was talking about possibly doing maybe some episodes where we kind of deep dive into the history of different developers and publishers. Not sure if anybody would be really interested in it, but I kind of have this love-hate relationship with Ubisoft, and that kind of sparked everything because all the games that I keep going back to are Ubisoft games. Far Cry's and Assassin's Creed's and things like that. And I don't know why I keep going back to them, but I do.
I love
maybe.
it. I want to change it. Why does it not change when I ask it?
And then the one last thing, when we're done with this podcast, I'm going to go play Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the game that Travis can't play right now.
All right, guys. We'll see you on a future episode of the Lamer Gamers Podcast.